A picture-perfect day in Southwest Florida. In fact, it is picture day. The Red Sox in their home whites coming together on day 2 of full team workouts as everyone is looking their Sunday best, even though it's Tuesday, but whatever. Games start this weekend. We've got baseball coming at the end of the week. They'll take on Northeastern on Friday. Grapefruit League beginning up in Port Charlotte on Saturday. First Grapefruit League game here on Sunday. The Yankees coming in next Monday, ready to roll into the games, but a couple of days of workouts left, including this one today on Picture Day 2025. We welcome you to Southwest Florida, everyone. It is 3:10 to left, presented by your New England Ford dealers. Tom Karen along with Lou Merlone. This is the annual Where's Pedro Day, when everyone's trying to find Pedro Martinez for the picture.
Is Manny back home again?
Why is Manny not here today? Everybody here today, it's always a nice day to get those home whites on, have everybody around you. You look around, this is the team. There'll be changes, but this is the group we're starting with.
Yeah, it is, and I think Bregman kind of solidifies that, right? There's some reports, maybe Adam Ottavino will be joining this group in an invite, minor league invite. But for the most part, I think you look around and you feel pretty good about it. So I think Picture Day now is just take care of some mess and then come out here and get better.
We'll talk more about Ottavino and some addition. But the fact that we are still hearing the Dylan Cease rumor of a couple days ago, what does that mean about this team? Clearly they have put together a team they think can make the playoffs, but clearly they are looking to make that team even better if they can.
I think until spring training is over, until you get to opening day, I think you look at Greg Breslow sort of saying, how do I improve this team? If there's a way out there for me to improve it, whether it's an extra reliever, whether it's a catcher, a backup catcher sitting out there somewhere, I'm going to always look into it and see how to possibly add to this group. So I don't think that ever ends.
All right, we got a lot of fans here today as we get ready to work. We've got Alex Cora, the manager of the Red Sox. Got big plans for today? What do you got?
We got what we got? Oh, live VPs.
You should know this.
A lot of live VPs, and then
Crochet for a couple innings today.
Oof.
Live VP.
So Crochet, Chapman, and Hendricks are going to be all right out there. Hitter, who doesn't want to hit today? Because I'm not sure I want to hit off that group. Anybody bail?
I did.
Alex Cora getting ready to work. We're out here on field 4 today. Kind of like yesterday. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this infield, the defensive drills as they go down behind us.
Yeah, and we'll see with Rafi Devers whether he's out here or not. We're hearing reports now, too, from even yesterday. Cora talking about the arm is a little bit behind. Remember, it was that right shoulder that he jammed in Colorado that really turned his whole season around. So I think they're just sort of slow playing it, but I think he made it perfectly clear he plans on working out at third.
Until further notice, he believes he is the third baseman of this team. That was the big news today. Everybody talking about it back home. Everybody talking about it down here in Florida and really throughout baseball. Rafael Devers yesterday making it clear he wants to stay at third base when this season begins. Let's listen back to what he and his manager said about it yesterday.
Lo que hizo la gerencia, sabemos que varios años atrás no tenían el equipo competitivo como ahora y conforme, me siento bastante cómodo y listo.
Yeah, honestly, I think we have a hell of a team. I'm grateful to ownership for the moves that they made, the pieces that they added, and yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really ready to get going. I'm excited about what we have.
Obviously, they signed a guy who plays third base. How do you think that's going to work out for you?
No sé, mi posición en la tercera base, no sé qué opinión ellos, como te digo, qué va a pasar, sino mi posición es mi tercera base y no me han dicho nada. Tuvimos una conversación, pero yo le dejé claro lo que quería y no hemos hablado más.
Yeah, I mean, third base is my position. It's what I've played. I don't know what their plans are. Like, I know we had a conversation. I made it clear kind of what my desires were, and yeah, whatever happens from here, I don't know.
What are those desires to play at third base?
¿Cuál es tu preferencia? O sea, ¿qué tú deseas que pase en términos de tu posición?
Bueno, yo juego tercera base, yo no juego más otra posición. Mi posición es tercera, de ahí para allá no sé qué ellos van a decidir. No controlo lo que ellos vayan a hacer, sino mi posición es tercera y es ahí que estoy ready todos los días de dar lo mejor de mí en lo que pueda y ya.
Yeah, no, like I said before, like my position is third base. I don't know how they want to go about it or what they want to do, but I know that that's the position I get ready to play every day, and it's just, it's just my position.
How would you react if they asked you to DH? How would you feel about that?
No,
Can you translate that, please?
How do you feel like the lineup is going to shake out with Alex and yourself and Jaren and some other pieces? This seems like a pretty...
No, me siento bastante confortable con ese line que tenemos ahora. Teníamos bastante buenos jugadores el año pasado, pero este año me siento todavía más contento y sabemos que hay muchos peloteros que no tuvimos el año pasado, como Trevor Story. Hay muchos casas que sabemos que están ready este año y los tenemos en el line y vamos a tratar de dar lo mejor de nosotros, como siempre lo venimos haciendo, y contento con los movimientos que han hecho.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think we have a hell of a team. I think the lineup is going to be great with all of the pieces that we added. And we're also adding a Trevor Story who was injured. Tristan, same thing. And I think a full year of health, we're going to be really good.
So are you saying if they ask you to DH, you won't do it?
No.
Can you expand on that?
I played third.
So, isn't it their decision though? Like, isn't it the Red Sox decision, or is it a mutual thing, or?
¿Cómo fue?
Que si en final es la decisión del equipo, que donde ellos quisieran que tú jugaras.
No, es mi decisión. Yo juego tercera base. Yo no puedo... Esa es mi posición. De allá ellos sabrán lo que van a hacer, pero mi posición es tercera base.
Yeah, like I said, my position is third base, and whatever it is that they want to do is what they want to do. But I feel like my position is third base.
Have they talked to you about getting reps at first or any other positions?
Que si
Es
tengo
la
más.
misma lo que le dije ahorita, me hicieron la pregunta de que iba a ser DA. No, lo único que hablamos fue eso.
Yeah, no, like, you know, they asked me the question about how I feel about DH, and yeah, I gave them the answer that I just gave. No.
Are you disappointed that he seems as inflexible as it came off today?
I got to take a look at it. You know, I heard about it, and obviously, you know, Abby doing her job told me about it. You know, but you know, I'll see how it looks. But I think at the end of the day, you know, he was very vocal last year about the organization doing the things that we needed to do to improve, right? And we played, you know, 500 baseball last year. The front office did an amazing job so far. You know, adding talent, you know, and like I said, there's 3 ways to improve the roster: player development, trades, and free agency. And we have accomplished that, and, you know, we're trying to win here. And that's something that, you know, at the end of the day, Rafi's Rafi. He's going to say, I mean, whoever sits here, I'm not going to coach them to say something that they don't feel. But I can guarantee you something. He wants to win here. He wants to win a ring here in Boston.
He indicated that you and Brez talked to him on Friday. What was the tenor of that conversation?
We talk about every possibility that could possibly happen, you know, and you know, he gave us his take about it, and we're going to keep talking.
He told us that his take was, you know, that you asked him to play third, to play to be the DH, and he said no.
We talk about different situations, you know. We talk about DHing, you know, and you know, he said, you know, I'm a third baseman, so yeah.
Do you kind of, you know, as a former player yourself, you kind of respect that he feels that way?
I talked about it yesterday, you know. Obviously, I was just a utility guy, right? I was a light hitting shortstop, and we traded for a guy, and they moved to second base in 2 days, you know. And yeah, I mean, I was bothered by it. I thought I was a great shortstop, but you know, it was Trace actually, Chad's dad, you know, like, hey, you're gonna play second base, you better get going, you know. And it took me a few days, but then I was back in it, and obviously, you know, I'm not Rafi Devers, you know. We're talking about a superstar player, but yeah, it hurt me at that point, but then after that, you know, I just went about it.
Did you expect that to be like what was your expectation going into that meeting with him? Did you expect him to be defiant and not want to move the fit?
I knew he was going to say that, so I wasn't surprised.
Is it something where you think a conversation with Ortiz and him could help, or do you think it's not?
I don't need help for that. You know, I'm the manager of the team. I'm going to talk to Rafi. We're going to keep working, and you know, like I said, we're going to make decisions based on, you know, what we need to win the division. That's the most important thing. And me and Rafi, we have a great relationship. That's something that I made sure. I say, hey man, this is the baseball side of it. We still Rafi and Alex. You know, I've been with this kid since November 2017. So you know, it's part of the business, and we will keep working. like I said, decisions will be made based on roster construction. That's the reality of it, and we'll keep talking.
He said when he signed the long-term extension that you guys said that he'd be the third baseman long-term. Do you think the relationship is strained right now? He doesn't seem happy that, like, the team has gone back on their word. It's strange between
different people here, right? There's a different leader here. So, Jaime is in St. Louis right now.
Knowing that Alex would be flexible in terms of his position, and you've said he could be a Gold Glove second baseman, does that help the situation knowing that Alex is more open to a move?
It helps that we have talented guys around here, and we have to make tough decisions down the road. And there's real competition here, and we're going to take the best roster to Texas. We're going to be dynamic. We're going to be versatile, and that's important. That's what, nothing. I said it 4 days ago, like we're going to make a decision when we have to make it, right? And we're going to announce it. That he was vocal about it, of course, and I'm not mad at him, it's part of who he is, and he's been vocal before, right? And at the end of the day, he loves it here. He likes the Red Sox. He wants to win here. We'll keep talking.
All right, so, of course, complicating the whole thing is the fact that Devers is a little bit behind, right? The shoulder has set him behind, so you hear what he thinks about the position, how he wants to be the third baseman, but today he can't be the third baseman because he's over on the stadium earlier today just getting in some throwing and some running. He's not ready to do full work.
Yeah, and the funny thing is this wouldn't even be an issue if it wasn't for Bregman, right? And the controversy at third. The guy has been in the league a long time. He did hurt his shoulder. He knows what he needs, and if he slows down a little bit, it's no big deal. But given what is going on out here behind us, that's where it's sort of like kind of convenient that his arm's not well, and he's over there in the other field. But he's going to work at third base. You heard him yesterday, and we'll see how this thing unfolds in camp.
But we're watching Bregman here behind us, and you get a quick reminder why he won the Gold Glove last year. I mean, the difference is obvious, right? But wherever he ends up, he's going to make this team better, and it could be second base. We'll get to that in a little bit. But if you're just comparing the two defensively, you got Bregman. It's like a 15-run difference in defensive run saves, a 12 difference in outs above average. It's a significant difference when you look at what they did last year.
It is, and that's what you have to talk about when it's Devers. I know everybody always talks about the errors. This guy made 12 errors last year. That's a career low. Okay, we're talking about somebody that was on pace in 2020 to make over 30. He's made over 20 in 3 different seasons. He went from, those numbers to 19 2 years ago to 12 this year. So in his mind, the range isn't there, but he was better. Like, he made more plays. He made less errors. So in his mind, he's like, okay, I got something to build on. Like, I'm getting better. Give me the opportunity to take another step. And if they take it from him, I think that's where the frustration comes in. And I would expect it from a guy that's played third his whole career.
Run it back some 30 years. We had a John Valentin. He left camp. When Nomar Garciaparra was named as a shortstop. And ultimately it worked out. Val changed position. The team was better because of it. But in real time, we were all standing there scratching our heads saying, what's going on with this team?
Yeah, and ultimately I think he will be fine with it as well. I do remember that, right? Obviously close to the situation, and Val wasn't happy. Why should he be? He was Silver Slugger. I think he was 8th in MVP voting. Here comes this kid who's taking his job. So he literally took it to the house for a couple of days, didn't even show up, and came back, and he was fine. So I think that's the way it's said. And again, it isn't settled yet. It really isn't settled yet, whether Bregman's going to be at third base or not.
It's not going over well back home, though, as you can imagine. And you had Bregman on day one saying all the right things. I'll play wherever they want me to. I'll do whatever they need to win. Had some guys around baseball yesterday. We heard Jose Altuve, Aaron Judge saying, I'll bat ninth. Jose Altuve, I'll play wherever they need me. Like, that's what you want to hear. It's not what you heard from Devers
No,
yesterday.
It's not. But in a way, it's like I always like honesty, and sometimes when we get it, we're kind of critical of it. So, hey, at least the guy was honest. He's going to continue to work, try to get better, and then as this spring training goes along, if there's somebody that proves that they can play second every day defensively, then I think you will see that switch, and he'll get over it.
We always talk about prospects saying force the organization to make the decision. That's what Devers got to do, right? He's got 6 weeks ahead of him. Force them to put you back at third base with your effort, with your play here in Fort Myers.
Yeah, and I wonder how much it's really up to him. You know what I mean? I don't think it is. I think it's really got more to do with a guy like Khristian Campbell. And I think if he can defensively, and he hasn't really played there much in his career. A lot of people talk about the offense. I'm tired of talking about bat-first prospects. I like defense, and that's where Rafael and Abreu, they brought defense with them, and they battle offensively. Campbell's played 49 games in the minor leagues at second base. He had 1 year in college He's played 420 professional innings at second. There is a lot of things he's got to tighten up, especially turning double plays that need to be turned.
All right, we'll talk a little more about that. Watching this infield work behind us, watching Bregman, who looks so good at third base. You look at Story and Bregman on the left side of that infield, you feel pretty good as a pitcher.
It's fundamentally sound. You know, there's a couple ways to play third. Raffy's very one-handed, even balls right at him. Bregman, not so much. You're one-handed to the left, one-handed to the right, but balls right at you. There's, you know, it's just a fundamentally sound guy, and you can see why he's so consistent, had a great career.
Certainly giving us plenty to watch in these early days of spring training and the workouts. We're going to hear from Alex Bregman as he has his second day here working out with the Boston Red Sox, wearing number 2 for photo day earlier today and playing third base behind us as the infield takes its defensive work. So we will roll on with 3:10 to left. It's presented by your New England Ford dealers, and we're back after this. Photo day this morning here in Fort Myers, the team posing in their home whites and wearing number 2. It is the new infielder of the Boston Red Sox, Alex Bregman, positioned to be determined, the Gold Glove third baseman of the Houston Astros last year, 2-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, a Golden Glove, a Silver Slugger, 2-time Top 5 MVP. Bregman now with the Red Sox joined us yesterday on Red Sox from Fort Myers.
Oh, it feels great. Like you said, it's been a whirlwind. Feel like I'm trying to learn everybody's name as quick as possible, and also get ready to work at the same time and get ready to get the season going. But it's been fun so far, and I've really enjoyed it.
You know, yesterday you talked to the media for the first time, and basically you had me at hello, you know, because the first 15 seconds was all about, I'm a winning player, this is a winning program, I'm going to be in the postseason. It was not hope. There was a little bit of this is what's happening, and I love that.
Yeah, I think that was one of the main things that came across when we had our meeting with the Red Sox early in the offseason was this is a winning organization. We know how to win. This ownership has won 4 times. I think it's the winningest ownership since 2000, and we're going to get back to that. And had me really motivated to, at the beginning of the offseason, I was really motivated to play for a winning organization, and I couldn't be more happy.
It's funny, though, right, because Rafael Devers the only guy left here from 2018. But you go back to 2018. You know what those teams were like from the other side. What did it feel like? You know, you're on the other side of it. You're hearing it from the fans. But what is that energy, the October baseball, you know, atmosphere at Fenway Park? What does it mean to you?
Oh, it's a great energy. I feel like this fan base wants to win so bad and expects to win. And I think that's a good, healthy pressure. And I think a lot of the guys just talking around, we're going to feed off that this year. And really looking forward to suiting up at Fenway.
You know, your first time really hitting free agency, I don't know if you enjoyed the process or not, but I'm wondering, like, how much did you pay attention? Obviously, a lot of teams. You had some options. Red Sox trade for Garrett Crochet. They signed Walker Buehler. They signed Aroldis Chapman. Like, how much are you paying attention and seeing those signings? Did that influence things?
Well, it just showed that they weren't talking the talk in California when we met. It was walking the walk, and they were going out to make this team better. Obviously, in talking with Brez, their main objective at the beginning of the offseason was to attack the pitching, and then, and then it took a while during the offseason, I know, but I was laughing with AC earlier, telling him, hey, I was early to spring training. It didn't take that long.
Did that matter, the timing of it? Like, you get a full camp. This isn't 2 weeks from now when you're sort of dropping in late and trying to catch up. How much did that matter to you?
No, I wanted to be here. I wanted to be here from the beginning and get my work in and get ready to go for a full season, get around the guys and start to get to know one another and yeah.
We've talked so much about what you can do on the field that I almost feel like I've pivoted now to the other stuff because I think that's valuable, maybe more so even with this team here, with this, just you being around it. So many young players, first year in the league, second year in the league, some young kids coming up that are men, you know, some of these guys like Khristian Campbell and Marcelo you're working with. How much do you enjoy that part of it? Like talking to these young kids, talking about approach, what you're working on, why you're working on things, because you've been around for a while now.
Well, I love it. I think early in my career I was fortunate enough to have some great veterans that came in, and I was able to ask them questions. And all 3 of those guys, they ask unbelievable questions already. You want to find out what makes motivates guys and what makes them tick and what's going to get the most out of them. And I think that's the process I'm kind of in now, is just talking with everybody and figuring out what makes them go, what's going to help them, any way I can help them. And it takes a while, obviously, but these guys are, I mean, they're special.
You know what, we spent, I was going to say 72 hours. I think we spent 4 months talking about where you're going to play on this infield. Look, I think we've been doing that since November. And sure enough, day one, with Rafi kind of a little behind in the throwing stuff, you're out there at third base. You said all the right things yesterday. Obviously, at this point in your career, you want to win. You'll do what it takes to win. But that's a different challenge for you, right? I mean, it's a new organization to begin with, but now you're going to be probably spending time at different positions this spring. You've just been a third baseman of the Houston Astros for a long time. How different is that for you this camp?
I think I was fortunate enough to play a lot of different positions on the infield early on in my career, and just working on the footwork of all different positions this off season and training. I'll feel comfortable wherever, and I'll feel ready to roll and make an impact on this team, whatever position it may be.
How much of a role did Alex Cora play in this? I mean, obviously, you like him more than AJ Hinch. That's the way I look at it right now. No, just kidding. But you've played for him. You know what he's like. That communication, I'm sure, was there, too, in the offseason.
Yeah. Obviously, I talked to him all offseason long. He's a winner. He's a gamer. He works his tail off every single day, and he prepares. And he's a good leader, a good communicator, and I'm super looking forward to playing for him.
We were on the stage at Fenway Fest. Fans had signed, make Bregman an offer. I saw players taking pictures, texting you in the background. Did you feel that? Like, there was a lot of support from the fans to get you in a Red Sox uniform. Did you feel that as this thing sort of went its course?
100%, all off season, and can't wait to go out there and compete and play hard for those fans.
You also heard it from our friend Jared Carabas. I mean, you're the first guy you called. You made his life. You made his life by signing.
He was calling me all off season and checking in, and he still thinks that he won this wiffle ball battle that we had back in 2018. But I swung and missed at one pitch from him, and then we lost the ball. It went so far, I forget what happened to the second one.
Welcome to the media, because that's the only pitch anyone's ever going to see. You're not going to see the ones you hit bombs off. I mean, he's just going to show the success.
Yeah.
Well, Papelbon drilled him in a charity event last year, so you can always get payback.
Okay, good.
Eventually, he's going to step in there.
I got to find something.
When you think of Fenway Park, and I know it's different from the other side, but you're a guy who feeds off energy, feeds off passion. Is that important to you? And have you thought about what it's going to be like to be on the home side of that?
It's going to be awesome. Just from talking with all the guys, they rave about playing at Fenway in front of great fans, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I can't wait. Obviously, it's going to be a tough division. It is every single year, and we got to focus on where our feet are and focus on spring training first. But when we get up there, there's going to be an energy, I feel like, that is different.
Your numbers speak for itself, at Fenway Park. And I was saying before that a lot of guys are more comfortable hitting in their home ballparks. And when you go to Fenway, it's almost the same approach for you, right? It fits you, what you do at Minute Maid, right? Pull in the air, line drive the other way. Is that the comfort of walking into Fenway? Like, does that help a lot?
Well, I think we've played a lot of games there in my career, because we've matched up in the playoffs all these years, and also twice or once every year. But I remember the first day I actually got to Fenway, I was talking with AC, and he told me, make sure that you keep the ball low to right field and high to left field. And it kind of stuck with me, and I kind of adapted that approach to our own home ballpark in Houston. And I feel like it's a great approach and helps me.
I thought it was nice AC yesterday to point out he can hit at other ballparks. We've talked so much about Fenway. He's going to be okay on the other 81 too.
Yeah, I do. I feel like normally it's been better on the road than at home, but we'll see what happens.
Numbers are staggering at Fenway Park. It has 1,200 OPS, right? It'd be like the greatest hitter ever to play there with 75 or more at-bats. It's like you and Ted Williams.
Well, let's keep it going.
Yeah. But what is it about the ballpark? Because some right-handed guys will come, and that left field wall will sort of change them, right? They'll try to pull it. Does it come naturally? That's what your swing is?
Honestly, I try and hit the ball to center field there, and try and get the bat out in front, and I guess I've been fortunate enough to sneak a few over the monster. Hopefully can sneak a few more out this year. But yeah, I feel like it's a great place to hit, great environment to hit as well.
Music to our ears. Looking forward to it. We appreciate the visit, Alex. Welcome to Boston.
Can't wait. Thank you, guys.
Alex Bregman with us as we continue and rolling on. The bat profiles for Fenway Park, right? Right-handed power, he lifts the ball. The question is where he's going to play defensively. Now, we just watched him at third base here behind us. Now he's in the outfield turning two as a second baseman. How important is it to get that work in with Story, the two of them to get their routine together?
You know, it is important because the guys up the middle of the infield, and I don't know if there's 8 or 9 different guys that played second base. Forget about, 35 since 2018? Yeah, so, you know, Trevor Story, as a shortstop second baseman, that communication, these guys are shifted over all the time. Kind of, you want to know the guy that, okay, I know that Alex Bregman's going to get that ball. I know that Story's going to get that ball, so I'm going to go to the bag. I also want to know, as both positions, where I like the ball more in double plays. You know, do I want the ball in my inside shoulder? Do I like it high? Don't throw it to me low. This is how I want to receive the ball, you know, as turning double plays. So that's communication that you haven't really had. There's been so many different guys up the middle the last couple of years, and it'd be nice to have it for once.
That's a day in the life of Alex Bregman. Start the day at third base, spend some time turning two as a second baseman, finish the day in the cage, trying to visualize that ball sailing over the left field wall. We're going to come back and visualize the new pitching rotation for the Boston Red Sox. Garrett Crochet is going to throw live BP in just a little bit. We'll hear from Tanner Houck coming off his first All-Star season. That's next. As 3:10 to left, presented by your New England Ford dealers, continues. Well, the Red Sox feel they have improved their starting pitching rotation and depth for the coming season. They also got improvements from some of the guys they had last year, like Tanner Houck, who really went through his first full season as a starter at the major league level, achieved that 30-start plateau, and made it to the All-Star game for the first time. I spoke with him about the additions to this team and the increased expectations as the Red Sox get ready for the season.
You live, through experiences, and that's what we're trying to shoot for. I remember being in 21, being 2 games away from the World Series. That was a great learning lesson for me. I learned how to, pitch through whatever is going on physically or mentally, and just keep going and leaving it all out there for the team. So with their mindsets coming in, I'm excited to have them help mold our young minds, especially Bregman on the hitting side, and Buehler and everyone coming in on the pitching side.
Kind of as TC was saying, how much does just having basically have 3 veterans in the rotation now, including Lucas? Now, how much will that kind of help you guys, the rest of you guys?
I think you look at guys that we brought in have a lot of durability, a lot of bigger individuals that are going to stand out whenever you see them in person. But I think that's what you need to be able to last through an entire season. You need to be big, strong, and it just shows how much work you put in during the off season.
You talked about you sort of checking those boxes as getting through a full season as a starter. Cutter did the same thing. Brian Bayo, you've got this sort of young core now in the middle of that rotation. How good does it feel to see not just you, but this whole group come together?
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 guys that came through our minor league system that developed into big league starters, and I like to think that we all stepped up and filled roles whenever we had to last year, and we always kept each other humble and competitive at the same time. If Cutter went out there and did a good job, I want to go out there and match it and do better. So having some veterans and getting in on the game will even be even better.
Getting Garrett back, kind of one of the quiet stories here is that he's healthy and ready to go. And what does he mean to this team?
Yeah, I think having his presence in the bullpen will be huge. I think if you look back to 21 and how dominant he was in that role, I'm excited to see him go out there and to do his job. I know he wants to be out there more than anyone. So to be a year out for him and getting back out on the diamond, it'll be good to see.
What about the addition of Chapman to that bullpen?
Yeah, it just adds another veteran presence in our bullpen, especially left-handed. We're a little right-handed dominant in the pen, but that's okay. I think adding a guy like Chapman with a big velo, nasty split, I mean, it'll definitely be a very big presence down there.
You don't try to match his velo. Like, you don't watch him and say, I got to do that.
I don't try and match anything he does because big velo, big weight room. I mean, the guy works incredibly hard as he walks in behind and just dripping in sweat. I mean, the guy is a true athlete, and he's built like a truck.
built like a truck.
Yeah.
That's perfect here on the podcast presented by your New England Ford dealers, by the way. Alex Cora over there talking to Craig Breslow right now as you and I talk. There's talk about Adam Ottavino coming. Talk about trying to just get as much depth for this pitching staff as you can get. But Houck's going to be an important part of the staff.
Yeah, and I think, it's about depth, and they have that depth. But they also have the frontline guys. They need more strikeouts. They were, I think, 11th in the American League in strikeouts. Talking to Andrew Bailey, how do we get to the top 5, right? And really, that top 5 is about one more strikeout a game when you think about 160 more. So I think they brought some guys in. They lost a guy, Nick Pivetta, that was their best strikeout guy in this rotation. But when you bring in Crochet, when you bring in Buehler, and add a Giolito with Chapman, you should see those numbers climb because that just helps your defense. Punch guys out. It's an easy one.
We're getting ready to watch Crochet in a little bit here. He's going to throw live BP a couple innings if all goes well. When you watch guys early on like this throwing, and we always hear pitches ahead of hitters, we know that. But what are you looking for when it comes out of his hand today?
It's hard because I don't mind the guy that's out there just sort of toning it down a little bit. Like I saw Buehler out there the other day, and he was 92, 93, where he kind of lives at 95. So it's early in camp. And then other guys handle it differently. Crochet went out the other day blowing 97, So really it's about control. It's about, pumping strikes, not caring about what hitters do off of you. Those are like the mature guys that have been in the league for a while. And kind of more so finding the zone. Throwing strikes is big.
All right, it is photo day here, and the workout's going on behind us. The infield out here watching Khristian Campbell. I want to go back to second base real quick before we head to break here, because we've talked a lot about Khristian Campbell, and you've talked about the innings he needs to do, the repetition he needs to get in. What does he need to do in this camp to start taking that next step defensively?
I think be a little more consistent turning double plays. Early on there's some footwork issues, and again, 49 games. He had 1 year in college. He was redshirted a year and was drafted, so there's not the experience really isn't there. And now all of a sudden you got big leaguers coming down on you. Now you can't knock them out anymore, but they'll be around your feet. So the more consistent you are with your footwork, the more consistent your arm will be, on the throws to home plate. It just becomes a muscle memory thing. So I think that's probably the biggest work right now, because Cora, as we know, has stressed double plays now for some time.
What Campbell does here in camp will be part of that equation when we talk about where Bregman will be. It's not just about him against Devers at third. It's also about does moving Bregman to second base make this team more complete. We will see in the days and weeks to come. We will come back and wrap things up. 3:10 to left, presented by your New England Ford dealers. Back in Fort Myers after this. The day began with photo day. Red Sox wearing their home whites for pictures. Tristan Casas in there. He's been the quiet guy in the infield. All the talk about Bregman and Devers and Campbell at second base, but very quietly, Tristan Casas is back, looking to stay healthy and fulfill the promise he's shown over the first 2 seasons. We have seen the bat and what that power can do. He will join us tonight on Red Sox from Fort Myers. Hope you can join us at 6:30. Tristan Casas is going to sit down and talk about the coming season and his expectations for his season ahead. All the trade rumors he heard in the offseason when there's a lot of talk about whether or not he would be back. But he is back, and he'll be with us tonight when we come back for Lou Merlone and all of us here in Fort Myers. I'm Tom Caron. We'll see you next time.